You're going to be seeing a short video on what we call Vedic India. We give this term Vedic India, we give this time period, this name to this time period, after the collapse of the Harappan civilization. Now, you've learned a little bit about the Harappan civilization, not an awful lot. I didn't say an awful lot to you about it, but a little bit about it. What brings an end to the Harappan civilization is up for debate, and this is touched on in the next little video. Could be a natural disaster. It could be an invasion. Okay, it could be an invasion by a group of people called the Aryan people. Now, whether the Aryan people actually invade India, like a military attack of conquest and that kind of thing, or whether they just move into the area and fill in and absorb what's left of the Harappan people after their civilization has already collapsed for other reasons, well, that's something that historians argue about. But a group of people called the Aryans move into India. Now, this word Aryan may cause some distress. Okay, if you're familiar with 20th century European history, you know that Adolf Hitler sees the Aryans as the master race, the superior race. He believes that they are the ancestors of the Germanic people. And he'll adopt this swastika, which was a common symbol of the Aryan people, and use it for his own purposes. If you go to India today, you'll see all kinds of swastikas all over the place, and they don't have anything to do with Hitler. All right. There's a prison gang called the Aryan Nations that you may have, I hope you haven't come across in prison, but may have heard of. And so anyway, if that word Aryan makes you recoil, there's a good reason why you should recoil, because of the misuse of the word over the last 70 years or so. But the word itself is just referring to a group of people, okay? And so we can talk about the Aryan people without going into all the nonsense about what Hitler had to say about the Aryan people, okay? They're just a group of people, a group of Indo-European people, who bring the Sanskrit language, that Indo-European language, into classical India. I'm showing you on the screen here a current political map of this part of the world. What we think of as classical India, ancient India, includes what today we have split into three different nations. That would be the nation of Pakistan up here, India, of course, and Bangladesh over here. Three different nations today that in the ancient world we would have collapsed together and called ancient India. Okay, that's a very broad term. The Aryans migrate into the northern part of classical India from what today we call Iran, or Iran. Iran, Iran, Aryan, Iran, Iran, Aryan. Are you starting to play the Indo-European game? That's why Iran is called Iran, because that's the origin of the Aryan people. Okay, the Aryan people, who are an Indo-European people, migrate out of what today we call Iran and move into the northern part of classical India, essentially what today is Pakistan and India, although they will make their way all the way over to Bangladesh. And they're called the Vedic. It's called the Vedic period in Indian history because this is the time of the composition of the Vedas, which are hymns to the gods, but they also contain an awful lot of philosophical reflection. And the next little video will go a little bit into some more detail about the Vedic period of Indian history.